Welcome everybody, my name is AJ. I'm going to try to rip through this demo as fast as possible. I don't want it to be too long. This is not a tutorial. However, I believe if you just kind of watch closely, you might be able to pick up some hints and tips. Otherwise, I could always make a tutorial later, but I want to kind of keep this under 3 minutes. So the first thing I have here is my controller, which is just a null object hidden in the middle with these 4 sliders. I'll set that to 6. I'm going to set this one to 0, and as you can see, this is adjusting the time to whatever I put it at. So I put that 45. It says 12:45 now. I can bring this in, and it keeps going, and if you watch the AM and PM as well, it'll update every 12 hours. Then you can also, if you want, go to military time. So now it's calculating military time instead of AM and PM. I'm just going to bring that back down to, let's go 14 for no reason. And if I bring this over past 60, it also updates the hour as well. Bring that back down to 45. This right here, this is actually the intensity slider. So if I jack that way up and I start scrolling across, you're going to see it just jumping everywhere. That's because if I were to render this out, it'd be like going super, super quick. It's pretty much taking the time times 1,748 plus a few other modifiers. But if I take this down to like 6, I kind of like 6. It's a little bit nicer. You can see it's more going to be a little smoother. If I were to render that out, it'd look actually nice. If I take it down 2, it's even slower. This is not real time. This is the minute hand, and this is the hour hand. It'd be kind of boring to watch a minute hand and an hour hand go in realistic time. So over the course of a 5-minute video, it's only 5 minutes, which is barely even noticeable at all. So I've set it up more to act like a second hand and a minute hand instead. Just looks a little nicer. But of course, you could, if you want to, do the math a little bit, figure out exactly what modifier you would need, and it would be no problem at all. So pretty much all my information is nested into this minute hand. It's taking time, which with this one right here, I have it just the math.floor of time. I found out that time brings out in seconds. I wasn't sure if it was going to be seconds or frames, so I did find out for sure that it is seconds. And I just kind of hid that and kept it because I liked it. So it's taking the seconds times this intensity modifier plus the minute slider. And then that's times 6 because it's in degrees. I'm working in rotation, so 6 times there's 60 minutes, so 360 divided by 60 is 6. That just gives us the minutes more precisely. Then I went up and I did this hour hand. And the hour hand is pretty similar. I just call on for the rotation of the minute hand, divided by 60, and then I do plus 30 for the starting hour. And there we go. And that's a little more arbitrary than it might seem, but it works out really nicely for the view. All these numbers can be easily adjusted just to match up nicely to the project. Just a simple code change. Then I went ahead and I did the digital clock, so I got this digital minute, digital hour, and this was the analog portion. So the digital minute is taking the math floor, which means it's rounded. If I don't have this math floor, I'll get weird numbers that'll be like 45.7777684321, stuff like that. It's really annoying, and you don't want to look at it. I just want everything above the decimal, so that's what math floor is going to do. And it's calling for the starting minute slider, so it knows what minute to start at, plus that rotational information from earlier. And then it's printing out mod 60, so it's just going to print out that number, 1 through 60. And now what I added to do is everything below 10 originally was printing out just a single digit, so just 1, just 2, just 3. But I wanted it to print out as 01, 02, 03. So there's always those 2 digits. So I have it if this number is less than 10, n is less than 10, to add an extra 0 and then print out n mod 60, which is going to give me that remainder of 60. And then I went ahead and I did the hour clock. So this is a little more complicated. It's pretty much doing the same thing, starting hour plus that rotational information. And then it has to check to see if it's military or non-military time. So on checkbox, if it's military, which means it's going to do a mod 24. And at less than 10, it's going to add that 0 again, else just print mod 24. And if it's not checked, so unchecked right here, it's going to pull into this new equation. So one thing I had to do was I had to convert military time 00 to 12. So what it's saying right here is mod 12, which is going to be 0, is less than 1, to just print it out to 12. And then I did less than 10 and greater than 0, because I did get 1 through 9 as well. Then I did that add 0 mod 12. And then else, if it's none of those, then it's going to be 10, 11. Print out that number. Just print it out. And you can easily check and uncheck that to kind of see the difference. Then the last thing I did was this AM, not AM, AM. Just hide that real quick. And to make the AM and PM disappear on military time, I just have it if checked. So this controller checkbox equals 1. Set the opacity of this layer to 0. Else, if unchecked, set it to 100. So that was really easy to hide. I hide that opacity, pop up the source text, and then I once again, to calculate whether or not it's AM or PM, I just kind of pulled in this equation again for Meridier. And what this is doing is detecting the military time. So I'm using 0 through 24 to get my result, because it works this way. It works better this way than trying to find out AM or PM, because 0 through 11:59 are going to be AM, and then 12 through 23:59 are going to be PM, and then 24, of course, is just zeros. So it's a lot easier to calculate whether it's going to be AM or PM. And so if unchecked, then mod less than 12 is AM, and greater than 11. So this could actually be greater than or equal to 12 would probably be a better option here. But since I'm working in only rounded numbers, I didn't see any problem with putting the greater than 11, so I just put PM instead. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day.